Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, we just got a boatload of new Elena footage for Street Fighter 6. I guess an embargo just recently went up here, and we got tons of footage from a bunch of Japanese sites. And with this footage comes quite a bit more info. For one, it's nice to see just, proper gameplay, not just, endless trailers, nice and curated, like real matches. That's nice. Through a bunch of rounds of Japanese previews, we also got, more confirmation on things we already knew, which we'll go over because it's good to get everyone up to speed because there's quite a few things that you might not know about Season 3 as it currently stands. And we got all that and a very small thing learned through just the gameplay footage, which could have major consequences for how Season 3 plays out. Specifically, the dreaded throw loop. We've talked so much about throw loops over the years, and we don't know for sure yet. We gotta wait for those patch notes. We don't know for sure yet, but it looks like given the change we got here, I don't think they're going anywhere, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, how about some colors? We all love colors around here. Now, the nature of these events is they always restrict which colors you can show. So, give people a taste, but don't show everything. You gotta build hype up in small ways, and colors, odd as it is for fighting games, they are hype. We're all obsessed with different palettes and different colors. You might notice all the locks on the character screen as well. This build is Elena only, no other characters. Because they don't want you mining through all the specific Season 3 changes. But that said, some Season 3 changes just confirmed now from these Japanese news outlets. We had speculation at EVO Japan, but now we know for sure. One of them is Modern Controls is getting a pretty sizable buff. If you happen to be unaware, Modern in Japan, and Street Fighter's having a huge resurgence in Japan right now, Modern in Japan is like omega popular, so big deal. And one of the changes for Modern is for jumping attacks. Normally Modern you have light, medium, heavy attack. Now you have the full range of all 6 jump buttons. So you just simply hit light, medium, or heavy, or hold the assist button, then light, medium, or heavy, and then it'll just be the other corresponding button. So now in Modern, you have access to all the jump attacks, which is good. Although it kind of goes against the spirit of Modern in a way now that it's actually more complicated than Classic just to do basic attacks. But given the way it's designed, them's the breaks, I guess. Another major deal, if you did not hear about the news from EVO Japan, this is not confirmed by the press outlets, but I didn't make a video covering it, so just in case you don't know, is parry changes. So the mechanics of parry and perfect parry specifically remain fundamentally unchanged. It's just how it sort of works, how you get to the perfect parry. This has been noted from multiple people on site, so I got no real reason to doubt it, but of course, wait for the official patch notes. So basically, if you want a perfect parry with the big slowdown effect, you have to hold back and then parry to get it. You have to correctly, quote unquote, block the right direction. So mids and overheads, you have to hold back and parry. And for lows, you have to hold down, back, and parry if you want the time slow effect. If you do not do that, you'll still get a perfect parry, but it'll be a perfect parry like when you're perfect parrying a fireball. So say someone jumps at you and you parry. If you hold back and parry, you'll still get the perfect parry. But if you're holding, say, down, back, you're crouching, then parry and get the perfect parry, no, that's not happening anymore. To get the perfect parry with the slowdown, you have to hold the correct direction to successfully, quote-unquote, block the move. So you can't just crouch block overheads and parry, and you can't stand block lows and parry and still get the perfect parry. So certainly different, right? Gives much less reward to a random parry, because if you're doing like random tap parry to try to catch something, you at bare minimum have to be blocking correctly, and you can't just walk forward and do it either. So if it truly works out that way, once again, wait for the patch notes, we'll find out then. But if it truly works out that way, it definitely changes up the parry game just a little bit. If you got someone dead to rights, you'll always still have them dead to rights. That's not going to change. But just random parts where you just tap parry and fish to see what you get, that might be a little nerfed. And now before we get to this, dreaded potential throw loop sting change here, let's just talk about Elena herself, because some interesting things. So we already know her moveset and all that. We've covered that in the trailers, but some interesting things like her level 1 super. So we already knew that you could juggle after her level 1 super, but you can juggle a level 1 into another level 1 and then juggle again after the fact. That's interesting. That's fun. Given how easy it's potentially able to be set up, it actually might be better than burning a level 2, right? If you can just get 2 level 1s back to back before scaling really kicks in. So That's interesting. Although with all this extra, offensive power, one thing to note is, just like say DJ, there is no invincibility on that level 1 super, FYI. Can't win them all, right? You don't want to wake up level 1 into another level 1 into like EXDP. That would be a little silly. And speaking of things that are a bit silly that Elena can't do, no crouch medium kick into drive rush. Cannot do that. Certainly not the only character that can't do it, but it's just such a staple of Street Fighter at this point. Like, you always just assume every new character can do it, but she can't do it. And we talked about in another video, but she does not, repeat, does not have a throw loop. Not to say throw loops are gone, we're going to get into it, but she just can't do it herself. So joining the exclusive club, if you want to call it that, of Honda and Chun-Li. So that original trailer went out of its way to not show a throw in the corner. As you can see here, Elena throws the other Elena in the corner, and she's moved like 70% of the screen away. It's been confirmed with testing at the Evo Japan event that even if you drive rush, she just can't make it in time. Because I went over the frame data in a previous video, and she has the frames to throw loop. But with that amount of pushback, the frames don't matter because you can't get close enough, fast enough to make a throw loop matter. Most of the rest of the cast that has, a proper throw loop, there's some amount of close to the enemy, either for a dash or drive rush or whatever, and she is way, way too far away. Now, once again, this is a one character build. We can't test it with anybody else. We don't know how it's going to be with anybody else. Maybe every other character in the game, you get thrown and it's like the same deal. You're pushed all the way back out, or maybe it's just her. And so there'll be like the very exclusive club of people who can't throw a loop, and then everyone else can still do it. But now, here comes the big change. So same scenario here, going for the throw, and okay, tech, and we're back to neutral, right? Okay, sure, whatever. But notice what happens when the tech happens. Look at the drive gauge right here. See that? Catch that? So whenever a defender techs a throw, they get a full drive gauge bar back. And that's great for the defender. Part of the reason why throw loops are so annoying, because attempting to tech the throw is the scariest possible option you can do. I tried to tech the throw. I don't want to be in the throw loop. Haha, got shimmied, take 60%, game over. Now, at least there is a quantifiable reward for correctly teching the throw. You get a drive gauge bar back. That's not nothing. That said, this is why potentially throw loops will remain in the game, because if they feel the need to give the defender some kind of reward on this, interaction, that means the interaction's still going to remain the same. Can't know till we get the patch notes. I know I keep saying that, but it's some food for thought. So you can see Elena, when she does a base throw, she gets pushed out a mile away. Maybe that's just her, but maybe that's also the new gold standard. We don't know. So that's interesting. She's definitely like a rush down pressure character. So if anyone were to have a throw loop, you'd think it would be her, because it's not like she's going to zone you out or anything like that. But then again, we can see here clear as day, when you tech a throw, the defender, the person who teched the throw, gets a substantial reward in a full drive gauge bar. And then you add stuff like the perfect parry changes we already mentioned earlier in the video. And all I can say for sure is things are going to be different in Season 3. Just the scale of which we can only guess. It's not that much further away. It's only a couple of weeks away. So a lot of food for thought at a minimum. I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. The fact that she's pushed out, the fact that perfect parry is changed so much, the fact that the defender on a throw tech gets bar. That's a really wild way to do it, right? What does this all mean exactly? Post below what you think. Besides all that, we got some more info and some more goodies as well. Like, for one, we can concretely tell you how healing works, like with visuals. So here, after a drive impact, you can see the base level 2 super, and you get a bunch of hits, and then if you let it rock, that's a big kick at the end. For healing, you have to hold down the button instead, and well, you heal, right? And we can get a good amount of health back, it would appear. So here, have a gander at the life she gains back. It's substantial, I would say. It's a good amount. Like a small combo, like a small light hit confirm combo's worth of health, maybe? It's certainly not a game-changing, well, maybe it could be the difference between life or death, right? Really, it comes down to what you think is more valuable given the round you're in. If you have an incredible life deficit, it might be worth it to heal. If you're already in the lead, it's probably to your benefit to widen the lead. But you get to choose. That's the cool thing. And besides all that, we got more goodies yet. How about the full move list? Yes, it's in Japanese. Them's kind of the breaks, given the nature of the event and all. But yeah, so we already know all the moves. We already covered it in the previous main Elena trailer. But if you just want to see some stuff visually, there you go. In case you're somehow unaware at this point, it's very much the classic character, except she has a command roll into multiple mix options. And she also has a sway back, somewhat akin to like DJ. So that's very, very interesting. We also have another look at Elena's arcade mode. So before we had like some still pictures, now we have like the actual like prologue in full, it would seem. So her and her crazy, crazy buddy Akuma at it again. What get-rich-quick scheme is he gonna try this time around, right? Akuma and his crazy adventures. Can't read Japanese so good myself. We got this rough translation from Fighting Game Daily. Elena says thanks for treating her so well. Everyone says Akuma's a scary person. Akuma says something like murderous intent and life being two sides of the same coin. And you know what? Fair enough. Akuma is the closest incarnation of like, say, death that we get in a Street Fighter. And if you want to consider like life an element, then Elena would be that character as she does healing. So consider her class type cleric, I guess. Or maybe Druid. Druid's heal too, right? Yeah, she's friends with Animal. Druid would be better. Or some weird like kit bash, like min-maxing multi-class. I don't know. 3 Druid, 3 Cleric, level 4 Monk. And she's half Angel, half Demon, half Human. There we go. The ultimate Dungeons and Dragons character. But yeah, so lots of interesting info out there. And if you're looking for just like gameplay of a lot of level 7 versus a lot of level 7 CPUs, it's definitely out there now. Fun fact, Capcom, as someone who's done this behind the scenes, they will not let you show a level 8 CPU. Level 8 CPU has the spiciest combos, and you're just not allowed to see that. It would overstimulate your senses. It would blow your mind. So for the public safety, it can only ever be a level 7 CPU. And the system changes we've seen from this and we heard from Evo Japan make Season 3 really interesting. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of character-specific balance changes that are all going to be very big deals. But the system changes, that's the universal stuff. That's what affects everyone, sometimes more, sometimes less, but affects everybody, right? Changing how parry works, the fact that the defender on a throw tech gets meter back, which means they might not deal with throw loops as it stands. I don't know, but like there's going to be some very interesting things coming. Of course, that's just what we know, right? That's just what's known at the moment. Like this whole defender on tech getting meter back, we only found out because of this footage. We did not find that out when people testing on site at Evo Japan, so there's probably even more goodies to be found just yet. And once again, Season 3 is June 5th. It is very close. It is not that far away from now. And of course, when the time comes, I'll have everything covered on the channel, so don't worry. I'm, I guess, a bit worried that the patch change video is going to be like 3 hours long. The Season 2 patch visual guide video was over 2 hours long, and Season 3 is threatening to be the biggest patch in Street Fighter 6 history, so it'll be a long one, but don't worry, I'll be with you every step of the way covering all the changes. But that's what we know for now, and my friends, that is the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching, hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.